Hello, everybody. In our parsha this week, the Torah details the laws of lending money to a fellow Jew who is in need in order to support and help the indigent get out of their woeful monetary situation. And the Torah forbids loaning money to a fellow Jew with interest. Et kaspecha lo titen lo beneshech, uvemarbit lo titen ochlecha. No interest, no rebit. But then, strangely enough, at the end of this section of law, the Torah concludes by saying, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, latet lachem et eretz Canaan, liot lachem lelokim. The question that's asked, if we can paraphrase a more famously worded different question from the beginning of our parsha, Ma inyan shmita etzel har Sinai? What does Yitziat Mitzrayim have to do with the laws of loaning money to a fellow Jew with interest? So much so that the Medrash tells us on this pasuk, Al tanai kach hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, the Jews were taken out of Egypt conditionally, shetekablu aleichem mitzvat ribit, that we should take upon ourselves the laws and the prohibition of loaning money to a fellow Jew with interest. Shekol hamodeh b'mitzvat ribit, modeh b'yitziat Mitzrayim, v'chol hakofer b'mitzvat ribit, kofer b'yitziat Mitzrayim. The Medrash draws a very strong tie between the law of ribit and the concept of believing in Yitziat Mitzrayim. Whoever accepts upon himself and believes in the law and prohibition of rebit is one who accepts and believes in God having redeemed us from Egypt and vice versa. What's the connection? This is actually a question that is raised in a number of instances by Chazal. For example, by Mitzvat Shabbat, as we recite in Kiddush Friday night, Zecher Litziat Mitzrayim. What does the weekly Shabbat have to do with Yitziat Mitzrayim? We know why it's Zecher L'Maaseh Bereshit. And there are other mitzvot, including ours, where Chazal raised the question, what does this have to do with Yitziat Mitzrayim? The Ktav Sofer gives a very, very interesting answer. The Ktav Sofer brings an analogy. If a person were to give a conditional gift to his friend, Reuven goes to Shimon and says, I want to give you 1,000,000 shekel as a present, but it's conditional on one thing. If any one of my immediate family should come to you and request a loan interest-free, you should give it to them. Now, Shimon is surely going to take such a conditional gift. After all, the wherewithal that he has to give a loan to anybody is based on the fact that he has been enriched by this unsolicited gift from his friend Reuven. So if Reuven says, here's 1,000,000 shekel, but if any of my family members come to you, you have to loan them money interest-free, Shimon would gladly take the deal. Because if he doesn't, albeit there'll be no interest-free loan, but he also won't have the 1,000,000 shekel. So too is the connection between Yitziat Mitzrayim and the mitzvah of Ribit. So to speak, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us an IOU. Did we have the merit that rendered us deserving of leaving Mitzrayim, leaving Avdut, leaving the polluted atmosphere spiritually of Egypt? We did not. And nonetheless, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out. We owe him. He gave us a gift, but it was conditional that if any of his relatives, if anybody from Am Yisrael comes to a fellow Jew and asks for a loan, it is to be granted, if the person is able to, interest-free. And perhaps this also gives us another insight into a question that everybody asks. How could Am Yisrael, unlike all the other nations, say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu when they were offered the Torah, Na'aseh v'nishma, yeah, we'll do it. We'll ask questions later. No questions asked. We accept all the rules and regulations of the Torah. What are they, stupid? All of a sudden, someone comes to them and they go, yeah, we'll do it. We'll undertake obligations. We don't know what they are. We don't know the rhyme or reason. But if we understand that at the time of Matan Torah, Am Yisrael owed HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He had given them something, so to speak, sight unseen, where they were yet unworthy of a gift. So when HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked them to commit to being responsible for Shmirat Torah u'mitzvot, we owed him. And therefore, to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Na'aseh v'nishma, is actually something that is quite logical. I think we should all keep this in mind during these days of Sfirat HaOmer, as we are approaching the anniversary of Zman Matan Toratenu, that actually the commitment that we made is what gives us a special bond and relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shabbat Shalom.